This is macOS Ken.
The EU may bring action against Apple, two tales from Apple TV Plus land, and an update for a forgotten macOS game.
Shall we play a game?
Not now, I'm busy. It is Monday, the 17th of June, 2024. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from macOS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by ExpressVPN. Protect your online activity today. Sign up for a year and get an extra 3 months free at expressvpn.com/macOSKen. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOSKen. The EU is about to charge Apple for failure to comply with at least part of the Digital Markets Act. That is according to secret sources cited by the Financial Times. Specifically, the report says the European Commission has determined that the iPhone maker is not complying with obligations to allow app developers to steer users to offers outside its App Store without imposing fees on them, according to 3 people with close knowledge of its investigation. Yeah, it's not really surprising. Apple charges developers a 30% commission for purchases made in the App Store. When the DMA required Apple to let developers tell prospective customers about paying less through their own sites rather than through the App Store, Apple complied. However, that compliance came with a 27% commission for Apple, in addition to whatever payment processing deals developers had to make instead of Apple's App Store payment system. Seems that is not in the spirit of what the EU had in mind. Any announcement could be weeks away, according to the secret sources. Additionally, Apple may announce changes which may cause the EU to change its stance, which may mean no announcement nor punishment. Otherwise, non-compliance could be costly for the Cupertino company. If found to be breaking the DMA, the Financial Times says Apple faces daily penalties for non-compliance of up to 5% of its average daily worldwide turnover, which is currently just over $1 billion. Apple declined to comment for the report, pointing instead to an earlier statement, "We're confident our plan complies with the DMA and will continue to constructively engage with the European Commission as they conduct their investigations." The European Union declined to comment, but one financial analyst was quick to his keyboard. Apple 3.0 ran part of a response note from Evercore analyst Amit Daryanani, who seems totally and somewhat inexplicably unconcerned, calling the rumored EU challenge unsurprising and expected. Daryanani's note says it's possible we could see the stock come under some slight pressure on the day the EU announces charges, but the potential financial impact is negligible even in a worst-case scenario. Net, says the analyst, the EU DMA case continues to present mainly headline risk with no real potential financial impact. Yeah, I hate to be argumentative, but 5% of $1 billion, the amount the Financial Times figures Apple's making in a day, 5% of $1 billion a day is $50 million a day. Multiply that by 90 days, and that's a potential $4.5 billion a quarter, or $18 billion a year. I'm not sure how Daryanani sees the potential financial impact as negligible, even in a worst-case scenario. Probably, though, Apple will change its policy before it comes to that. Whatever the case, Daryanani is not worried. He's got an outperform rating on Apple shares and a price target of $220. Here's kind of a weird one. Apple told developers last week that the app they use to test the apps they develop is getting an update with the next version of iOS. It's not completely ridiculous. There's just something meta-sounding about it. Not the Facebook kind of meta. A piece from Mac Rumors had the company cluing in developers last week. According to the report, TestFlight in iOS 18 features a new invitation experience that'll better showcase the app by highlighting key information including app name and icon, screenshots, developer name, build expiration date, and app description. I'm not sure why that feels so weird to me. Actually, it does sort of drive home to developers that developers at Apple are developers too. News that will make at least one friend of mine happy. iMore says Apple is working on a deformable controller that could work with iPad, the Mac, and Apple Vision Pro. A deformable controller is just what it sounds like according to the report, something you can move entirely. Imagine squishing, twisting, and bending this control to move through virtual worlds. The piece goes on to say the deformable controller isn't just a static piece of plastic. It's designed to move virtual objects, adjust audio settings, draw in 3D, and even play immersive 3D video games. The controller's nub-shaped housing, complete with an elongated dome, can be squished and twisted to provide input, detected through a series of sophisticated sensors embedded within the flexible structure. And now the bad, or perhaps disappointing news, word of the controller comes through a recent patent filing. Apple has patented 1 billion things that customers have never seen and probably never will. Still, it is cool to know that Apple's at least considering the calls of some to give Apple Vision Pro users something to hold on to. More news in a moment, but first a word from today's sponsor, ExpressVPN. Want to hear something crazy? Netflix has more than 18,000 titles globally, but only like 6,000 of those are available here in the States. Now maybe you think 6,000 is plenty, and you're probably not wrong, but you're paying for 18,000, which means you're missing like 2/3 of their titles. Unless you use ExpressVPN. Like the old days of DVDs, Netflix and other streamers basically region lock or hide content based on your location. ExpressVPN lets you change your online location, letting it look like you're looking in from one of over 100 countries where they have servers. Changing locations is just a click away. Seriously, you just click one button to change the locations and you're watching the content you want to see at seriously fast speeds. Try it out and find out why ExpressVPN is rated #1 by sites like The Verge and CNET, and why it's the one I use too. Stop paying more for less. Get your money's worth at expressvpn.com/macOScan. Don't forget to use my link at expressvpn.com/macOScan to get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. EXPRESSVPN, expressvpn.com/macOScan. News of a new trailer for an Apple TV Plus series. I actually caught this one literally minutes before recording Friday's show. The Cupertino streamer issued a press release late last week with the first footage from Sunny. Sunny centers on Susie, an American woman living in Kyoto, Japan, whose life is upended when her husband and son disappear in a mysterious plane crash. As consolation, she's given Sunny one of a new class of domestic robots made by her husband's electronics company. Though at first Susie resents Sunny's attempts to fill the void in her life, they gradually develop an unexpected friendship, and together they uncover the dark truth of what really happened to Susie's family, becoming dangerously enmeshed in a world Susie never knew existed. Produced for Apple TV Plus by A24, Sunny stars Rashida Jones. This is the second round for that trio. A24 produced the Rashida Jones Bill Murray film On the Rocks for Apple TV Plus. 10 episodes for this darkly comedic mystery series. The first 2 hit Apple TV Plus on Wednesday, the 10th of July. They'll run one per Wednesday through the 4th of September. It's got a creepy trailer, which you can catch now on YouTube. Dark Matter is still delivering on the streaming charts for Apple TV+. Meanwhile, the Jake Gyllenhaal limited series adaptation Presumed Innocent shows early promise. Cult of Mac has had a look at the most recent charts for Real Good and Just Watch. The former has the sci-fi drama Dark Matter at number 3, while the latter slots it in at number 4. While Presumed Innocent only shows on one of the charts, it shows promise, as I say. For the week of June 6th, presumably through the 12th of June, Presumed Innocent was number 7 on the Real Good chart. But it only premiered on the 12th of June, meaning it nabbed the 7th spot in just one day. The most recent numbers for Just Watch ran from the 3rd of June through the 9th, putting Presumed Innocent outside of its reported period. And finally today, something I think none of us saw coming from macOS Sequoia. 9to5Mac says Apple is taking the occasion of macOS 15 to update the operating system's built-in chess game.
Shall we play a game?
I said not now, I'm busy. I'm pretty sure I knew that this was there and know for a fact that I forgot about it if I did. Wouldn't surprise me if the last time I thought about, wrote about, or talked about this was in 2012. That is the last time Apple updated the game according to 9to5Mac with the release of OS X Mountain Lion. What's new? New pieces. They've replaced the king with the iron from Monopoly. But not really. New, more modern graphics are the order of the day. According to the report, the glossy background has been replaced by a new grainy gradient, while the board and pieces now have brighter, more realistic textures. However, while the previous version of the game had 4 different style options, the new one only has 3: wood, marble, and metal. Grass has been removed. Another thing missing from the new version, the ability to select different styles for the board and pieces. Chess is included in the Mac operating system. The newly refined version should hit with Sequoia sometime this fall. macOS Can, brought to you by me and sponsored by ExpressVPN. Sign up for a year and get an extra 3 months free at expressvpn.com/macOScan. This show is also supported by people like you, patrons through Patreon. Find out more and add your support at patreon.com/macOScan. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macoscan.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Can. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.